So the lovely Sarah has a new journal for the energetics of 2026 out on Amazon, and she was just showing me. I was like, right, stop talking. We're going to record you showing me. So here we go, everybody. Sarah's journal. Tell us all about it because it sounded amazing.
Well, so it's the second year I've done it, but hilariously, I'm not so great at sharing.
So she hasn't told anyone.
Haven't told anybody. No. So it was published about a month ago, right at the beginning of January. It's published in line with the human design year. So our for January the 22nd was the human design new year, starting with gate 41. And yeah, so I've done this journal because through my human design journey, working with the transits has really helped me understand, because it's all very well understanding your own chart and what you have activated, but we have access to everything, all 64 gates, and things get activated throughout the year. So actually, this helps me track my year. And the other thing is I used to read things on social media, if you're like me, because I do read other things. And when people are like, oh, it's, I sign up to Richard Rudd's Gene Keys emails. Oh, it's gate 41. Oh, hold on, I've got to find my chart. And there's too many steps to try and so you read it and you think, oh, I will come back to that and I'll check it. And then I never did. So what I've tried to do in my journal is try and solve all of those problems, embracing my line three.
I was literally going to say this is what we were talking about earlier on our podcasty thing, that you solve all the problems and come up with the solution. But then we said you share it with the world. So this is
Yeah.
the sharing it with the
This is the
world
sharing bit,
piece.
which I don't do. So there is a space in here for you to make a note. You can print out your own chart or you can write it down, however you prefer to do. So you've always got your chart with you when you're journaling. And then it runs you through the Human Design New Year, so the different quarters, and they have different themes to them. And it gives
So
you a
we're
lot.
in possibility at the moment, are we?
We are, yeah. So the current quarter runs until May the 3rd.
Right.
And during this quarter, all of the gates, so the gates that are highlighted in this quarter are in the emotional solar plexus, the ego, and the G center, which is all about self regulation and purpose. If you look at those themes of
Okay.
those centers together. And then we have some sacral gates as well activated, representing innovation and completion, and some mental gates to invoke our possibility thinking. So this is the theme at the beginning of the year, which is all about exploring possibilities. So it's not necessarily so much action taking at the beginning of the year, which I always find really funny, because everybody's like, well, new year, new you, new habits, and nobody keeps up their new habits beyond the end of January. And it's like, well, no, because we're literally not designed to. That's not how our energy is designed to
We
work.
are designed to start off with looking at what is possible.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly that.
And
Um,
you had a page per month, didn't you? To
yeah,
show me.
yeah. So we do have some reflections for lessons learned and what we want to visualize for 2026. And then each month follows the same format. So we have a month to view, because I like seeing the month ahead for myself. Yeah, big picture. It's got the full moon in there and the new moon, so you know when they
We've got a
are.
bit of moon action. Okay.
Yeah, it tells you when the quarter starts. And then we have down here, oh, you can see, we've got a monthly overview of what the month. So we start big with what the quarter represents,
Yep.
and then we have an overview of the month.
Yep.
And we then have what the energetic theme is. So this is like a quick glance of all the gates that are activated in January, and then an energetic theme. So for example, we're just coming to the end of January, but the energy of January shifts from finding joy and purpose to visionary planning and grounded preparation. The
Mm.
transits invite you to reflect on your aspirations and align with a deeper sense of truth and trust. And then for that month, we then have our intentions and integration, because it's all very well knowing what's happening, but we need to kind of integrate it and embody it.
Mm.
So we have a word or a theme for the month that you want to embody,
Yep.
what your intentions are, what patterns, obstacles, or habits might get in the way. So identifying what those obstacles are, and then a little space at the bottom for any brain dumping, any creative nudges, things that you want to remember, things that have come to you that you might want to reflect back on. And then it goes into the granular aspect. So each activation gate, what the 3 layers are. So they're kind of low vibration, the gift, and the city. It reminds you where the gate is, so you're not trying to scour and trying to figure out which center it's in. Again, this is all stuff that I used to be like, oh, hold on, right, there's that gate. Where's that
This
again? And
this has all come about from your lived experience of trying to
yeah,
follow the transits, work with the transits, it being too difficult, too complicated, too many places to look for the information, too much stuff. So you have now put all your lived wisdom, line 3, together with your solution, line 5, and now
yeah,
I'm making you share it with the world.
yeah. And then, so there's some poignant journaling questions, and the journaling questions are related to that gate. So even if you don't have it activated regularly,
Mm,
consistently, you will have it activated during the transit. And these questions are designed to help you reflect and notice what's coming up for you. But I'm typically not great at journaling every day. And this is another reason why I created this, because it's a weekly thing. So I've got boxes here for intentions towards the beginning of the week or the beginning of the transit, a midweek check-in box, and then any reflections for the end of the week. So you don't have to do this every day. You could just do this once a week
mm.
and just check it if you want to. It's about going with the flow and yeah, doing it that way. And then it goes through like that throughout the month. There is at the end of each quarter, there's a quarter reflection. So it reminds you what the theme is. So again, you don't have to go back to the beginning of the book. And it asks you if you identify any patterns that came up, any obstacles, any observations from that quarter. And then again, moving on to the next quarter, reminds you of the theme. And we follow the same format going through.
So I've only been following the transits, I would say religiously, but I tried last year and I did go through for a while and then the consistency dropped off a bit. Life got a bit busy. Like you say, it is quite not difficult, but you have to be quite committed to get all the information together, get everything done. The transit timing, does it follow the exact same dates? Or I mean, I'm guessing it follows the same path, the same order
The order is the
every year,
same,
but
but
the
the dates
dates are
change.
different.
Yeah. And the one thing that does change every year is the new and the full moon. So the new moon and the full moon move. They're not in the same, they almost reverse because we have 13 of those every year.
Okay.
So they're every 28 days. So they don't follow the same month. And transits vary. So sometimes they might be 4 days, sometimes they
Yeah.
might be up to 6 days. And it's not each gate. So, say for example, we are, I can't remember what gate we're in at the moment. I think
19, I
it's
think.
19, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, gate 19 runs for 5 days, I think, this year.
So I do have my list here because I do give my membership a little overview of the transits. I just drop them a little not voice note and I just kind of tell them roughly. I don't do anything like you've done. So my list here was the 19th is from the 27th of Jan to the 1st of Feb. Um, and so yeah, they're slightly different, aren't they? There's the
Yeah, I've got slightly different dates as well.
Have
So
you?
yeah.
Oh,
And this is really interesting because sometimes, depending on what you look at, so I use this little ephemeris. This is my 2025 one.
okay.
But I get them every year. I've still got my 2024 one here. And I check it against Genetic Matrix, which have a calendar. They are not always that accurate. And then I also have the 64 keys ephemeris. So I kind of cross cross check them.
You don't. I have my list I printed out from somewhere, and I'm kind of like within it. So I'm very loose with my. I say we're kind of approaching. You
Yeah.
might find the energy could be because again, I don't like telling people what they
No,
might or might not
exactly.
be
And it
feeling.
could,
And but in general, these are the kind of timings. Is my
yeah.
thing. So yours is much more accurate. So
Well, I don't know about that, but it's as accurate as I've tried to make it. And just because gate 19 is like 5 days this year, doesn't mean it will be 5 days next year. It might only be four, or it might be six. So it does change.
I was just thinking, because like I said, I've only tried doing it for like I think I tried doing it the year before last and it didn't stick. Last year I was much better, but I was like thinking once you start doing this, presumably year on year on year on year, you really might start tuning into the general patterns and habits because the same even if the dates change, the pattern of the flow from this energy
Yeah.
to that energy is always the same. So I think that's why I love patterns and recognizing behaviors and things. So I think that's what I am drawn to is what will be the influence or the impact of me doing it consistently, say for like 5 years, and I start to recognize the patterns of okay, well, this is how this is influencing me during January. This is how this is in, and you can start to work with that awareness. Whereas I think when you first start working with the transits, my experience is like, oh my gosh, like this week I'm trying to, am I doing, and I personally like overthought it all,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what's happening this week? Whereas if you can maybe just get a general
Kind
sense,
of take a step back and, like
yeah.
you say, get just an overview. So one of the reasons I started doing this in the first place was noticing themes coming up with clients, and I was like, well, that's interesting, what's going up, or what's going on at the moment collectively versus what's going on for me. And it's interesting then when you see certain things playing out in the world as well, because these are global transits. It's not just unique to you or your family. And there are certain events that happen. You're like, huh,
Yeah.
interesting. But I'm totally with you. I'm not. It can be a bit overwhelming, and I've tried to make this
I
as
think
light
because
touch as
they change
possible.
so quickly. So
Yeah,
that was my thing. So I'm just getting my head around this. Oh, I didn't look at it up yesterday. I look at it up today, but then by like Tuesday, it's gonna change again. And it all got a bit overwhelming at one point in the year because so it's like get it. Well, where can we get this anyway?
so this is available on Amazon.
Under your
And
name, Sarah Atkins, or do
Sarah
you have
Atkins, yeah, if you just type Sarah Atkins, I think I've put the proper tags in this year. So last year I realized I didn't have the proper thing. So if you typed in human design journal, it didn't come up
Oh,
because I think Amazon changed their keywords or something. And now human design is actually one of the categories that comes up on the thing. So if you search human design 2026 journal, it should come up. If it doesn't, let me know. Uh,
okay.
but there are bonuses. So there's a QR code at the beginning for anybody. If you struggle with keeping up with it, or you need a bit of accountability, or you struggle with object permanence like me, like you buy the shiny journal and you get really excited and then you forget all about it. If you scan that QR code, you can sign up to the transit emails, which are literally just, it's not, I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. It's literally just a little alert to remind
So
you
the
this
email
is
comes into your
happening.
inbox, almost like go get the journal off the
Have you got your
shelf.
journal? This is what you need to look at. Or you can join my journal community, because connection and community is one of my things. I have the 659 channel, so deep and meaningful connections are important to me. It's not
Intimacy,
another
yeah.
Facebook group. I just want to, it's a place to share reflections, wisdom, insights, not just me talking at you. I want to hear what your insights are because we all learn, right? We
Mm,
learn through experience.
we do. Well, perfect. Thank you, Sarah. So anyone watching this, head over to Amazon, start your transit journey.